What's going on, everybody? Welcome to After Prison Show, and in this video I'm going to be telling you about my new job. That's right, old Joe, he now has another job, and this is probably the craziest job that I could never imagine myself actually doing. And what that job actually is I'm a security guard. I am a bona fide fucking rent-a-cop. I can't even believe this. And I've only had this gig for a very short period of time. It's already been pretty fucking crazy. And in this video, I'm going to tell you all about it. I want your opinion as to what you think about this, as well as what I'm going to tell you that I've dealt with thus far with this gig. And with that, and also without further ado, what do you say we just go ahead and dive head first into this video? You know, one of the crazy things that I think about this is the fact that I'm sort of like a cop now. I mean, I know I'm not a real cop and I'm just a rent-a-cop, and that's even more crazy to think about because isn't that just how a security guard would think anyways? That they're a cop. I promise you I will not let this new job go to my head, even though it's probably already going to my head a little bit with the fact that I do consider myself the law now. And I'm also not even sure how long I'm going to last at this job because the things that I've dealt with thus far already are pretty damn crazy. And I've only been doing this for about a week now. And with this, I don't carry around any mace or pepper spray or tasers or handcuffs or zip ties or anything. You know what? I'm about to look on Amazon right now and get all of that stuff. But I don't carry any of that stuff. In fact, the only thing that I have is this right here. Mr. Guerrero, security. And I'm not even really sure how I'm supposed to wear this. I'm actually considering super gluing this to my forehead because that's how much I consider myself the new sheriff in town. But I am just totally kidding saying these things. I know this probably sounds super egotistical or big-headed. I can promise you that it's nothing like that at all. In fact, the most that I feel with this badge on is that I'm top flight security of the world now, Craig. We're top flight security. Have you ever seen that movie, Friday After Next? It's pretty damn funny. And you know, I also think now with the fact that I'm a security guard, a rent-a-cop, I mean, what are the possibilities that, who knows? Maybe I could become a correctional officer. And I'm quite sure that's a pretty absurd way of thinking that I could actually become a prison guard. But just think about that. I mean, what if? What if I actually was able to get a job as a prison guard? Wouldn't that be like the most ironic thing in the world? And how actually would I be as a prison guard? Well, I am quite certain that I would be the coolest fucking prison guard ever. And I know some of you may be wondering, like, Joe, where exactly are you doing security now? And I do want to tell you, the problem is I don't honestly think that I can, because they know that I do YouTube, and I'm not quite sure they want me putting all of this out there on blast, especially once I start telling you guys some of the stories of what I've had to deal with just in this first week alone doing this job. And before I begin to tell you these stories, I want to mention one last thing as well. With the fact that I can't really tell you where I'm working at, I'm wondering if I can bring all of you along on the job. You know, police, they wear body cameras. I'm just wondering as a security guard if that's something that I could do. Top flight security of the world here. I do need to let you know first and foremost, you are being audio and video recorded at this time. We got a runner. We got a runner. And you know, that's another thing that I think about is the fact that, well, I don't even have a radio. But if I did have a radio, I mean, who exactly would I talk to? Because I'm the only security guard. So with mentioning these things thus far, I do want to go ahead and tell you guys some of what I've had to deal with just in this first week that I've been doing this job. Again, I'm not exactly certain how long I'm going to last in this position. Because with this job, there are certain rules that I do have to enforce. That means I have to forcefully force these rules. One of these rules being something as simple as the closing of a pool. And this pool closes at 10 o'clock at night every night. So if people are in the pool after 10 o'clock, well, then it's my job as top flight security of the world to ask them to please leave that area. Hey, excuse me, I know you guys are at the pool. You guys are actually kind of having sex in the pool right now. And I know how awesome that must be, but I do have to tell you, the pool is closed and you got to get out of here. So could you please do that? And in fact, having to enforce this rule about when the pool is closed and actually walking over there while two people were having sex in the pool and having to tell them that, you know, they have to get out of the pool. One, that was not an easy thing for me to have to do. I almost was like, damn, man, should I just wait and let them finish? And that's actually something that I dealt with, having to go enforce this rule of the pool being closed. And there were some people having sex in the pool as I'm trying to tell them, you got to get out of here. Hey, put your clothes on. The pool's closed. I'm security. Top flight security of the world at that. look, you guys got to take this somewhere else. And while trying to enforce this, I got to tell you, this did not go over very smoothly at all. You know, when you walk up on two people in a pool having sex, they're not exactly going to be thrilled to see you, with you also telling them that the pool's closed and they have to leave. You know, I honestly feel like the biggest cock block in the world at this point. I feel like shit because of this. And not to mention the fact that they had been drinking and they were pretty drunk as I'm telling them, look, you gotta get out of here. The guy is becoming kind of belligerent with me. I'm telling him, hey, look, man, I'm just doing my job. You need to get the hell out of here. Take this somewhere else. And while all of this is taking place and transpiring, I'm just thinking to myself how at any moment now, this guy is probably about to take flight on me, meaning that he's just gonna steal off on me. I was thinking the entire time this guy probably wanted to punch me really bad. And with this job, I do have to be prepared at all times while enforcing these rules that I have to enforce, that there are going to come times where somebody's probably going to at least want to hit me, if not actually try to do so. I'm prepared to be filming a video the very next day with a black eye or completely beating the fuck up and telling you guys all about what happened. But with this job, I do also have to maintain a level of professionalism as well. So I can't just be out there fighting everybody because they're not following the rules. I have to be the sensible one in the situation, whatever the situation is. But I can tell you, if somebody does try to take flight, steal off, or rock me, at that point, my job is to call for backup, meaning I have to call the police while also restraining them. And when it comes to me having to restrain people, I feel like the best way that I'm going to be able to do that is to dump them on their ass. And at least I'm going to try to do that. But I do fear a situation may arise where there's going to be somebody that I'm just not able to handle at all. And then I think to myself, well, what am I going to do when that happens? And this reminds me so much of being in prison, thinking about the fact that there's guys in prison that you really, really want to avoid problems with at all costs. And being in a job like security, I mean, you can almost kind of say that you're basically just walking around looking for trouble. People don't want to deal with a security guard. Hell, I don't want to deal with a security guard. Hell, I don't even really want to be a security guard, and yet here I am. And the reason I took this job is because I felt like this would be a real learning experience for me. This would be something that I would actually be able to grow from, to learn from, to experience in life. And I'm the type of person I want to experience as much of life as I possibly can. And I don't think you've really honestly experienced life until you've experienced life as a security guard. And real quick, I got completely off topic talking about the situation that took place at the pool. But yes, I did have to go there, tell these people who were having sex in the pool after hours. Now, if they were having sex in the pool at 9:30, well, I mean, that would have totally been okay. I would have walked over there and said, they're having sex. It's 9:30. Well, at least somebody in this world is getting laid. But I told them they had to leave. It was after 10 o'clock. They became belligerent. Again, they were drinking. I thought this guy was going to hit me at any moment, but he did actually comply with the law and then left the pool area. I'm telling you, this badge right here, it carries a lot of weight. But you know, that's not even the craziest of what I've dealt with yet. Because you see, there's like this office that I'm stationed out of where there's people in this office who are doing work. And the people who are in this office doing work, well, it's all women. And these women, from time to time, they catch a lot of static from customers, I guess, who at times may be unsatisfied with whatever the fuck service that they're dealing with. And you know, there are customers who come into this office from time to time who are kind of out of control. And that's another part of my job, is to make sure that when these customers do come in who do get out of control, my job is to be there to tell them, hey, look, I understand you're frustrated. You need to tone it down a little bit. We don't need all of that in here. Why can't we just turn the volume down on this situation a little bit and talk like sensible adults here? Jesus Christ, you know, now that I think about it, I'm sounding a hell of a lot more like a security guard. But there was a situation that took place that I wasn't there for. In fact, they called me and told me about this situation. And I want to know all of your opinion on this, because had I been there when this took place, I'm not even sure what the hell I would have done. There was so many different variables that went into this that, again, I have no fucking idea how I would have responded if I saw this take place, because this would have immediately made me have flashbacks of being in prison and how I would deal with a person just like this. But what happened is there was a customer who came into the office, an older guy. I think they told me he was like in his 60s. And this old guy came into the office while these women were having a meeting, and he asked to speak with one of the women alone. Well, one of the women went into an office with this guy, and when they were alone, this guy went to say something, but instead of saying something, he actually reached inside of his pocket, pulled out in front of this woman a pair of women's panties, stuck them to his face, And this woman is telling me about this happening, telling me how she is absolutely petrified as this is happening right in front of her. And as he's walking out of the office, he turns around and he says to this woman, he says, "Oh, and by the way, I just want to let you know that these have been worn." And then he just leaves. Now, of course, when this takes place and with the fact that I'm not in the office when it happens, these women call the police, they file a police report. And the crazy thing about it is they don't even know who this guy is. They thought he was a customer, but nobody could identify this guy. Nobody knew exactly who this old man was who came into the office and pulled these panties out and did what he did in front of this woman. So they file a police report. There's cameras in the office. I mean, they do have camera footage of this guy, but with the fact that none of them can identify this guy, I'm not exactly sure how or even if this guy's gonna get caught for this. Now, again, as they're telling me about this situation taking place, I'm just thinking in my mind, like, what the fuck I would have done had I been in the office and I saw something like this take place. Because again, I tell you, this reminds me of being in prison. And this guy, in my mind, is someone I'm considering a sex offender. And had I been there when he did this, I can't even honestly tell you like how the fuck I would have responded to this situation. This guy is an old man, like 60 plus years old, they tell me. So maybe there's something like medically wrong with him. Or maybe this guy is just a creep. But you know, it's situations like this one that I just told you about that scare me the most. Because what if I am in a situation as crazy as what I've just told you about? I can't honestly sit here and tell you how I would respond to that. Or if I would even respond to it in the right way. Like what if I respond way too aggressively? That really does kind of scare me about this job. But again, I took this job for the fact that it's going to be something that I can learn from, that I can grow from, and that I can experience because this is something that I never have experienced before and never even imagined that I would experience. But again, I do want to hear what you think about this panty sniffing grandpa and what the best way for me to respond to that situation would have been had I been there. Because I gotta tell you, I really do value the opinions of all of you. And it's all of you also, this entire APS Army / family that helps me to grow and also learn as well. And with that, I'll go ahead and wrap this video up. Hey, look, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did so, please leave a like and a comment letting me know exactly what you thought about it. As always, until next time, enjoy life, the free world, never take a moment for granted, and make the most of every day. Peace!